to do until I was about 38. And I know there must be millions of kids nowadays that's kind of, in a way, suffering from the same way that I did. Shyness, awkwardness, not knowing whether it's your right to speak, you know, and so on and so forth. So that's how initially I set it out. I do a stupid amount of hours each week, even now. But I love it. It doesn't feel like work because I'm doing something that I wake up every single morning and go, can't wait for today. Can't wait to go see the kids at that school, or work at this event here, or go to this library. I love it. So it never feels like work.
Hello and welcome to this shorter version of episode 5 of Creative Careers, featuring the wonderful Nigel, founder of Imagination Gaming. If you haven't already seen it, it's a fantastic episode, the full version of which is available on my channel, and there is a link to it in the description of this particular video. Of course, if any of the main themes are of interest, then I would encourage you to watch it. Whether that's working in schools, having passion for creative ideas, gaining confidence, and of course running your own business. If any of those things are of interest, I would recommend it. It's a brilliant episode. But if you just have passing interest, I've created this, let's call it highlights package, to be a little bit shorter. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to my channel. All you need to do is click on the subscribe button below. That way you'll get notifications of all of the videos for free. They'll just arrive. You'll get those notifications without having to do anything. And please do like and pass on recommendations for the channel to those who you think might be interested in careers advice in general, or some of the themes that are coming up in the videos. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. So I first met Nigel at the UK Games Expo in Birmingham, where his company Imagination Gaming were exhibiting. I could see that he was very much a man in demand, so after a brief chat, I arranged to meet up with him in his native Yorkshire on one of his school visits.
Maybe change it.
Oh yes.
Wrong way.
Yes.
Maybe wrong way.
It could, yes. Maybe it's the wrong way.
Maybe wrong way.
We've got two spaces.
Two spaces.
And we need to add this. Now, so initially it was more based around trying to use games to help kids socially sort of mix, think, problem solve across the tabletop together in kind of a fun way. It wasn't really as focused around curriculum subjects as it is now. It was more just about get kids to do more things across the tabletop together, rather than screens and phones, which I could see back then were becoming a little bit of a problem. So initially it was just, let's sit down, let's play some fun games together, let's get them laughing and joking, knowing when to listen, knowing when to take turns, all this sort of stuff, which is quite a bit different to what we do now. But yeah, that was the outset, because I knew as a kid how that had affected me. And I know there must be millions of kids nowadays that's kind of, in a way, suffering from the same way that I did. Shyness, awkwardness, not knowing whether it's your right to speak, and so on and so forth. So that's how initially I set it out.
So much of Nigel's own drive and determination came from his own struggles in school, where his lack of confidence often held his progress back. It took a board game to spark him into life.
Whenever I think back, there were always a couple of English teachers that I had that I absolutely loved. They were the ones that kind of sparked my imagination. And it was when I was at secondary school that these English teachers were working with me, Mr. Snell and Mr. McGowan, if I remember rightly. And they just spoke with an air of creativity and imagination. Everything they said, they added a bit of flair to it that made it come alive. When they would read to the class, it was always an interesting thing to listen to. And it was around that time that a cousin of mine introduced me to Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, oh my days, this is the best thing I've ever done. And it gave me this creative outlet that suddenly made me want to read more. And I was working stuff out all the time, and I could feel the effect it was having on me. And those two English teachers, I think, helped a great deal. They're the ones that kind of almost keep me going in school, whereas a lot of the other teachers, I couldn't even tell you the names. But that absolutely sparked my imagination. I found that I was going to the library more and borrowing books on folklore and history and Rome, just to see if there's anything I could glean from that to put into one of my adventures. I was started drawing things and making maps of different things I wanted to run, and it just had a wonderful catalyst effect on me in sort of every aspect of my life. I was asking more people, do you want to play D&D? Do you want to do this? I was doing more calculations all the time, so I could feel I was getting better and more able with my numbers and so on and so forth. So it really kick-started so much for me. I got a job in a record shop. That completely changed my life. That gave me a personality. I was paid sod all for about 9 years, and it was the best thing I'd done in my life at that stage. Just because of the whole social side of it. It was a mad place to work. And I'd always loved music. I'd been collecting film music since I was about 12-year-old. I still do that now. I absolutely have a passion for that. And suddenly I was introduced to all this new music and people coming in the record shop every day that were passionate about music. So I got these conversations going off in so many different streams with so many different people. And it got me used to socialising, carousing, having these conversations with people and having a slightly different way to talk to different people based on what they were into, how old they were, how they behaved. And it got me loving that interaction even more. So yeah, that really kick-started me as an adult, giving me a personality. Because up to that stage, I didn't really have much of a personality. I was so quiet, so polite, so terrified of everything.
After a series of jobs in retail, where Nigel was able to demonstrate both his work ethic and creative side, he formed the idea for Imagination Gaming and made the bold move to start his own company, using tabletop games to help groups of people in different environments.
I guess there was a part of me that thought, am I going to be able to do this? But it was that whole thing of, yeah, but if I don't try, I'll never know. I have to try. I don't want to look back in a few years and go, oh my days, I wish I'd done that. So I always had that determination and drive. And that's the one thing I think you always need when setting up a company. If you are not ultimately determined, and you have to make some big sacrifices, so a lot of like the going out and the friends, I couldn't do that anything like the amount I wanted to do. Because I'm working away this weekend doing this, I do a stupid amount of hours each week, even now. But I love it. It doesn't feel like work because I'm doing something that I wake up every single morning and go, can't wait for today. Can't wait to go see the kids at that school or work at this event here or go to this library. I love it. So it never feels like work, but it's still a lot of hours to put in. What I found is people always buy people. So I could have a great idea, but if they don't believe me, if they don't believe in me, then it won't work. And I found that people do seem to like and believe in me. They say often that they can feel the passion that I've got for it. It comes through. And that's often made some of them say, you know what, let's give this guy a try and see what it's like. And then when we've gone in and delivered, they've gone, that's brilliant. Whenever we go into a school, we always say to the teachers, our job is not to come in and teach maths. You've probably got teachers whose job it is to do that. What we're going to do is go in with games that give the kids 100 different ways of applying things that you are teaching so they can see a relevance to it, so they can practice doing it and go, oh, that makes sense now. So I would love to see Imagination Gaming really getting into the curriculum and actually having a portfolio of games that teaches all the specific topics within the curriculum, that we can go in alongside a teacher teaching it, we can then go in and get the kids to apply it. Because I think the difference in attainment through doing that would be huge. It would be massive. We can see anecdotally the evidence of that all the time in schools. by what we go in and do, and the kids we work with regular, you can see the effect on them. So if we could do that across the maths curriculum, for instance, I think kids' ability to use maths and see how they can use that in different areas of their own lives would be phenomenal. I always approached it trying to deal with it as I would want somebody to deal with me. So we never tried to be what a kid wants. We tried to be what a kid needs. We tried to be a good male role model, or when some of the staff go in, a good female role model that is sort of firm but fair, but always fun, full of energy. You've always got to be, if you're working in a school, I always think you've got to be the brightest light in that school. If you're dull, boring, no charisma, not enthusiastic, the kids are just going to ignore you. You have to go in there. The kids say to me, "Sir, how are you today?" My answer is always, "Powerful." And the kids go, "Whoa, that's it." But it sets it off in the right place. And even I say that to the staff. Staff look at me, think I'm a little bit weird. But once they get to know me, they go, "I get what he's on about." You're always going to make mistakes no matter what you do in life, whether it's personal relations, whether it's business. Things are never going to go easy or correct all the time. That's just not how life works. Life's not designed to be fair. It's designed to be lived, and that's all you can do. And that's all I've tried to do. And put my hand up when I'm not doing something right. I'm far from perfect, but I try to make up for things that I've not quite done right, or I've tried to look after the people that have worked with us, or tried to look after me. But yeah, sometimes you make mistakes, and you just have to look back and go, you know what, that chapter's done. Move on, start again, reignite your imagination and your enthusiasm, move forward. Don't look backwards, just look forwards. I say to myself, stop worrying about what everyone else thinks about you. Stop worrying about it. Because all those people, the vast majority eventually, you won't know them, they'll have moved on. And they won't lose any sleep worrying about you at all. Focus on yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be really, really honest with yourself. What are you good at? What are you not good at? Find something you're really good at. Do it. You'll be fine if you do that. Don't worry about other people. Don't what if they say this? What if they think this? It doesn't matter. If you were really passionate about something, follow it. Do it. Because you'll be amazed at the positivities that you'll glean from that. And don't be afraid of trying as many different things as possible. We always say to kids, when a door opens in front of you, walk through it, try it. Try that opportunity. If once you've tried it, you don't like it, that's fair enough. You gave it a go. But you might find out you're the best artist in the world, or the best sculptor in the world. But if you don't walk through that door and try it, you will never know. And I would say that to myself. I keep repeating that all the time. Don't worry about what people think. And if you really enjoy something, do it more. Just keep doing it. You know, that's, if you can find a job that you love, doing something that you really enjoy, absolutely do it.
The time I spent watching Nigel at work in the school was invaluable to understanding what he's built with his company, Imagination Gaming. His belief in people alone is quite inspiring, and therefore I had to ask him what his best advice would be to young people looking for careers advice as they start out in life.
I had no idea what I wanted to do until I was about 38. Absolutely no idea. No qualifications, but I had a good work ethic. So no matter what job I was in, I worked hard. And it got recognised because I just worked hard. So yeah, qualifications help open different doors, but it's not the end of the world. If you like cars, go down to your nearest garage and say to the guy that owns that garage, "Can I come down on a Saturday and work for you? I'll do it for free. And let me just get an experience of how it all works and how that sort of industry works." Go and put yourself out there, because it seems like there are so few kids nowadays that do that. It's almost so unexpected. I think there'd be so many businesses out there going, wow, I didn't expect a kid to do that. And you might find that once you start doing it, you might be really good at it. And suddenly they're going, well, actually, I'll keep you on. So I'll pay you a few hours bits here and there in a week and doing this. You never know. Just push yourself. Don't wait for anyone in life to push you. Push yourself. Because if you're waiting for somebody else to do it, you'll be waiting a long time. Life is too short. Push yourself now.